Hey guys, it's Coach Jason. I had a question for you. Are you looking to get under 15 minutes for the 5K? Is that one of your short-term goals or long-term goals as an athlete? Or are you a coach and you have some athletes who you're training towards that who might be relatively close, or that's one of the goals for the near future or the next couple of years? Well, I want to talk about 5 workouts that I've utilized to get athletes under 15 minutes for 5K. Now, there's a lot of other workouts, and I've got a whole bunch in another video, so click the subscribe button. So you have access to 5K videos and detailed training plans and so on. But and look in the description down below, because I'm going to attach a fully detailed 12-week 5K training program geared towards sub 15 minutes 5K. Now keep in mind, all the times I put in that video and the times here for the paces are commensurate with a sub 15 minute 5K. So wherever you are, if you're 15:40 or 15:18 or 16 minutes, you've got to start where you are and work your way towards it. Okay? Last thing you want to be doing is, be a 15:50 guy and trying to hang on for dear life with somebody who's running 15:15 with the hopes of making a huge leap. Well, that might not be the right thing for you at the time. So if you want to know the appropriate training paces you should be training at, look in the description down below too, because I have a video there. I also have a video on a 1-mile time trial, which helps determine your current fitness for 3K and 5K, as well as 800 and 400. And it'll give you an idea on modifications that you might need to make to your training to help you get here, okay? So let's talk about it. I want to go over these workouts, okay? First one, 3 times a mile. Mile repeats are a staple, so are 1000s and 1200s, but you'll see a progression in my sub 18 to sub 17 to sub 16 to sub 15. The reps at race pace generally get a little bit longer over time as you get fitter and more experienced. So here I've got 3 times a mile with a 3-minute recovery at 4:48 to 4:44 per mile. Sub 15 minute or 14:59 is 4:47 per mile. So you should be able to run at the pace or a little bit faster. I generally like to train my athletes to run about 14:50 so that you have a little bit of a margin of error. So if you do happen to fall apart and it's towards the end of the race, you have a little bit of cushion there. Obviously, we do the training so that you're not falling apart, but sometimes you'll go out too fast and so on and so forth. So it's important to be prepared for any type of race that happens. But I generally like to give folks some cushion on the back end. So you're 3 times a mile, 4:48 to 4:44, and then 3 by 300 meter efforts with a 100-meter jog at 3K to mile pace, which is 51 to 48. So the 3K equivalent, you're looking in the 8:30s, and the mile equivalent for a sub 15 5K is about a 4:16. And again, look at my 1-mile time trial video, and you'll see some equivalents as well. And look at other running calculators, your Daniels running formula, and plug in, a mile or a particular distance, and they'll give you the equivalent distances, or where you should be at for the other distances based on a specific distance. But how you progress is another story. So that's why you have workouts like this, which give you a little bit more variety. Number 2. 6 times 1,000 meters, a progression workout. This is a workout I actually like to repeat 3 times, okay? 2-minute and 30-second recovery, and this is the way I break it down. The first time you're doing 6 reps, you're going to do 4 at your current race pace for 5K. So let's say 15:30. So you're looking at about 3:06, 3:07-ish around there. And so you do 4 at that pace, and then you do 2 at your goal race pace, which is, you're looking at 2:58-ish or something like that, 2:59. Okay? The next time you do it, you do 2 at your current race pace and 4 at your goal race pace. So you add 2 reps. So this is a workout you might be able to do like every 4 weeks. Okay? And again, use races or time trials and so on to help determine when you're ready to increase your training intensity. Because the last thing you want to do is increase volume and intensity at the same time. It can put you at risk for injury and illness. You should let certain indicators tell you whether you're ready to take the training up to the next level. You need to make sure that you're training in your appropriate zone and not somebody else's. That's going to help keep you healthy and progressing forward. Okay, and then obviously the last workout, the third time you do it, you do 6 of them, or at least 5 of them at your goal race pace for 5K. So 3 minutes and faster. All right, and that's generally it's a nice one. If you could drop a second each one, you go 3 minutes down to 2:55, and that's a good workout. Okay. Number 3, a 5-mile tempo. Tempo is something I also progress over time from 3 to 4 to 5 miles. And you'll notice that progression in my 5 workouts for sub 18, 17, and 16 on the channel as well. This is a workout that I also like to repeat 3 times, okay? The appropriate tempo pace is 5:25 to 5:10 per mile. That's the range that's commensurate for a sub 15. So again, you're building towards that, okay? I like to add some speed development on the back end. So the first time you do it, you do 4 by 300 meters on the back end with a 100-meter jog at 3K pace, which is 50 to 51. Okay, so let's say you run 5:25 for the first one, and then you do the 4 300s. Say the next time you run it at 5:17 or 5:18. Okay, you're progressing over time. And then the next time you do 5 by 200 meters on the back end with a 100-meter recovery after each one at mile pace, which is 31 to 32. Get you turning over when you're already fatigued after running comfortably hard for a long period of time. Okay, it also helps simulate kicking towards the end at the end of a race when you're tired. Okay, especially if you're planning on making a breakthrough in your performance as well. And then the last time you do it, let's say you're at 5:10 pace for 5 miles. Okay, and then, and by the way, after you do the tempo, you take about a 4 to 5 minute active recovery before you do these things. Okay, so let's say you're at 5:10 per mile, and then you do 8 by 100 meters at about 800-meter pace, which is 14 to 15 seconds. And these are all commensurate paces with a sub 15 5K. Okay, so those are your 3 options. Spread them out by about 3 or 4 weeks as well. And which will allow you time to progress and do the things that you need to do in the blocks of training. And I generally like to break everything down. And you'll notice in my 5K training program, it's broken down into 3 segments of 4 weeks each. Although you could break it down into 4 segments of 3 weeks each. It generally takes the body 21 to 28 days of a training dynamic to adapt before you introduce a new training stimulus. It's periodization. Okay, got to give the body a chance to adapt. There's no magic workout. It's the sum of the things that you do over time that helps put you in a position to run your best when you need it the most. Okay, there's nothing magical that's going to put you over the top the last week or 2. And remember what I said, taking about 21 to 28 days. If you have a huge taper the last week or the last 10 days of a season, your body doesn't have enough time to adapt to it. So there's a chance that you may be off. You may be out of rhythm a little bit. So keep that in mind. Okay, it's consistency, and gradual progression. All right. Number 4. This is a good workout, actually. This is a transitional workout I like to do mid-season. 2 sets of 3 to 4 by 800 meters. And I have it broken down as such, okay? The first set you run at threshold pace. Okay, if you want to know what the appropriate threshold pace is, look at my workout on how to set the appropriate training paces and threshold training, because it'll guide you and help you devise this. And you can also use the Daniels running calculator, Daniels running form. It's a very accurate calculator, which helps you determine the appropriate training paces for reps based on where you're at the time. Always do where you're at the time, okay, instead of where you want to be. That's where you want to be progressing towards. Just keep that in mind. So the first set is that threshold pace with a 1-minute recovery. In this case, it's about 235 to 232 per rep. Okay. Then you take a 6-minute active recovery in between sets, and then the second set you do at your 5K pace, and you can progress from current to goal, which in this case is 224 to down to 220. Okay. And you take a 2-minute recovery. Okay. So you're doing threshold and race pace. It's a good transitional mid-season workout. Which allows you to kind of transition from longer stuff into infusing some race pace so that you're doing more race pace stuff towards the end, that you're not doing too much of something too soon and peaking a little too early. Okay, so this is a good transitional workout. And you'll see how I plug these things in the detailed training programs. Okay, and number 5, 5 sets of 800, 300. Okay, so the 800-meter reps are at 5K pace, which will be 224 down to 220-ish, around there. I mean, this is a little bit faster, so it'll be 224 to 222. And then you take a 100-meter jog, and then you do a 300-meter rep at mile pace, which is 47 to 48 per rep. And then after each 800, 300 segment, you jog 400 meters, and you repeat. So you run an 800, jog 100 meters, and then you come back pretty quickly and run a 300 meters, and then jog 400 in between the sets, and you repeat. Okay, this is something maybe you could do 3 times and then repeat it again for a 4th time and then repeat it again for a 5th time. But it's a great way of simulating changing paces, turning over, making an acceleration and settling back into race pace. It's a great way of practicing breaking people down, getting rid of somebody who's following you and so on and so forth. So pace variation, you'll have some folks that will race like fartleks and they'll run all kinds of crazy paces. You never really know what you're going to encounter, but these types of workouts put you in a position to be able to respond to moves that you may not normally be used to. So, also a great mid to late season workout. Okay, so here's 5 workouts. Let me know what you think. Drop a comment in the comment section. I'd love to know what you think. If you have workouts of your own that you've utilized for yourself or your athletes, I'd love to know what they are as well. I want to try to help as many people as I can in the running community. As a 20-plus year former competitive runner and a coach of the past 20 years, and I am a USATF certified track and field coach. I'm also a Wharton certified musculoskeletal therapist and flexibility and musculoskeletal and flexibility therapist. So not only is helping you run fast a priority, but keeping you healthy along the way is a priority, so you can continue to do the things. So, and I have a video on and a running specific stretching routine, so I encourage you to take a look at that one as well. I will post it in the description down below. So I hope this is helpful. If there's any other type of training videos of a specific nature that you'd like me to post that you haven't seen or seen in great detail online on YouTube, just put a request in the comments, and I will do my best to accommodate it. I try to have my videos as detailed as possible, so that you can see the breakdown from beginning to end. And I encourage you to watch the entire video, not just the first minute or the last minute, so that you don't miss any important details. And like I say in my other videos, I would much rather you be over-prepared than under-prepared and missing something that may have come in handy for you and been helpful. So, again, I hope you enjoyed this. Have a great season. Train hard. Stay healthy. I'll talk to you next time.